Navy SEALs, okay? Navy SEALs are being credited with saving over 230 teens from sex trafficking. Isn't that awesome? I mean, it's terrible that we have to have that, and it's a horrible situation that there are thousands of teenagers who are not rescued yet. But I also think it's pretty great that we've still saved the lives of 230 of them. This is one of the reasons that I'm constantly telling people, if you're a young woman, particularly if you are blonde, do not holiday in Mexico. You don't want to do this. Now, the vast majority of people who do are going to be perfectly fine and going to be safe, okay? But there is a market in Mexico in these tourist areas where the cartels operate. They target Western women, young girls in particular, because that's who they want in the sex trade. And they really go for blondes. Obviously, in that part of the world, they don't have a lot of blonde-haired people, so that's in demand. One of the things that they do in these touristy areas, you'll get a lot of like 18, 19-year-old girls who will go to Tijuana, something like that, because you can get away with a lot in Tijuana. And they find themselves getting roofied. And then they wake up and they're chained to a bed. And they are then fed a steady diet of drugs. And these drugs make them unable to resist. So they're constantly high. They're constantly non-functional. And they're just tied to the bed. And then, of course, what they do is they sell you. And you have people who will pay. They come in. They do their thing. They leave. You're high the entire time. It's a horrible, disgusting thing that is unfortunately commonplace, and I'm sick and tired of covering that story. I did a lot more stories on this when I was in Las Vegas, but it still happens on a regular basis where you've got some family going, hey, our teenager went down to Mexico to vacation for, a week or so, and we haven't heard from them. And chances are they get snatched by the cartel. And it's a horrible thing. You don't want that to happen to anybody. But the Chive actually has this story. Battling the worst of crimes, human sex trafficking, sometimes it takes a group of bad bleep humans to stop the bad guys. The story begins with a former police officer turned private investigator in the day that he read a story about a group of Navy SEALs known as the Terror Hunters. Who are the Terror Hunters? Over the past 40 years, Joseph Travers first served as a cop, then moved up to detective. Using his years of firsthand experience, Mr. Travers started his own business as a private investigator. There used to be a reality show about them. I don't know if it was the same group, but it was a group of former police officers, special forces operators, military personnel, and they were hired by families to find missing loved ones who likely were being held captive and being trafficked. And they would find them, and they would go in and they would rescue them. And yes, they did use lethal force on various raids. It all depended. Usually they tried to get local law enforcement involved, but in some places you can't because local law enforcement works with the cartels and whatever criminal network is doing this. So anyway, this guy, he basically had all of this experience, and then he decided to go and become a private investigator, and he started looking for missing teenagers. As such, Mr. Travers was naturally interested in a story about a team of retired Navy SEALs that were traveling to foreign countries with the mission of fighting sex slavery. I was reading an article from the Orange County Register titled Retired Terror Hunters Hope to End Child Sex Slavery. This brought to mind the news that I heard recently regarding a missing 17-year-old girl who left her parents' home in New York. Brittany Drexel was last seen in a hotel video in South Carolina on April 25th. Where was she? This question led to a sad reality. FBI reported that the teen was taken from the hotel by a gang to a stash house where she was raped and then killed. Joseph Travers decided to take action. As a former police detective and current licensed private investigator, I've seen countless cases of missing children. I've got some PIs in the family as well and some bounty hunters, so I unfortunately get to hear about this sometimes. I knew many of them ended up being trafficked into human slavery and felt compelled to meet the terror hunters to see if there was a way to perform these rescues here in the United States, and I immediately made arrangements to meet with them. And so now, I'm not going to read you the entire thing, but I will link to it in the daily show prep, and I certainly hope that you'll read the article. because this group is now credited with saving 230 teenagers. How amazing is that? There's 230 people that are now safe because of these people who are doing this essentially out of the goodness of their heart. And that is a phenomenal story. Like I said, it's sad that we have to have that story. I wish we didn't, but I'm also glad that there are people out there who have that talent and that capability, and they're not just fading back into society and not utilizing it. You know, we have probably the most experienced former, I don't know how to say this, probably the most experienced civilian marketplace now when it comes to tactical training and abilities because of what's been happening with the war on terror. And they're coming back, and a lot of them choose to go into professions, like they become instructors and things like that. So the wealth of knowledge and the experience that is now available to the American public to learn from professionals has never existed like this in the history of the country. And I know some of you are going to go, well, more people fought in Vietnam and more people fought in World War II. Yes, but they didn't have the skill sets that these individuals coming back have. And it really is, it's an asset to the American who is interested in learning to be able to have this information and to be able to have access to these professionals. And when you have some of them who choose to go beyond that and actually go out there and save people's lives, not enough can be said about them, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, 574-25-95-95.3. It is the 12 days of Christmas here on 95.3 MNC, 12 days of great prizes. And you can sign up for a chance to win by going to 953mnc.com, or you can text the word days, nothing else. I don't need your name. I don't need you to put MNC at the beginning of it. Just text the word days to 45364. And you could have a chance to win something from, South Bend Chocolate Company, Antonio's Italian Ristorante, and Parkwood Auto Spa, among several others. Go look at the prizes, find the ones that you're interested in, and register only for those, or you can register for all of them if you're interested in giving them away as gifts, I guess. It really doesn't matter. It's entirely up to you. We do this every single year. It is our biggest contest of the year. And this year, of course, Santa's Sleigh is full with awesome prizes. So I want to thank our sponsors, Parkwood Auto Spa, South Bend Chocolate Company, and 95.3 MNC. Best of luck on everybody. Again, go to 953mnc.com or text the word days right now to 45364. You can go watch the live stream on youtube.com/Casey the Host, twitch.tv/Casey the Host, the new Throne app, which I've posted links to on social media. If you want to check that out, if you want to watch on your mobile phone, that's an easier way to do that. And, of course, I have just gotten back onto Twitter. Okay, company asked me to go back onto Twitter, so I did. And it's a brand new profile, and I really need your help to build my subscriber base. I no longer have the tens of thousands of followers that I used to. I only have 240-something. So if you could hop onto Twitter at RealCaseyH, CASEY, at RealCaseyH, and give me a follow there. I'd really appreciate it. We got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.